Okay, so we're back again, another video. This video is rather special because it's Super Grub2 Disk, and it's a guy that talks a lot. You're not supposed to reply to him, but anyways, we're going to do so. So this is going to be interesting. So yeah. So we have this guy that talked to us in YouTube comments, and then it has created here in discussions this thing, how to install persistent systems on your supergroup, and then the way of hacking the planet. Let's see if we can make something. He uses double V in order to do W. So yeah. Let's pop up the comment just in case it appears. Here, me again from YouTube. Okay, so since it does not work, where okay. I'll try to reply to many of these questions while I stream in this thing here, which is this YouTube video here. So episode 1. Try to reply. Bear with me if I have to end the stream while trying to answer a question. So, yeah, 1 second. Let me move my music so that it's easier to work this with this thing. Okay, now that's nice. So, we have the YouTube comments. We're going to ignore the YouTube comments. We have this thing about how to install persistent systems on your supergroup. And I think this is a follow-up, but I am not sure. And I will start from here. I will read everything, and then I will try to reply because I have many ideas on what to do here. So this is the PV Anthony that already replied regarding that you could be using, Ventoy. Okay, so let's try to read everything. So me again from YouTube. You have anything where I can just install a Linux system to your system on USB key and have it work from it? Thanks for your great tool. I have been using this new expensive crap bar that can boot a lot of things, just unique in how they do so much the travity in the digital world. A new expensive crap bar that can boot a lot of things. What the hell is this? I have no idea. This new expensive crap bar that can boot a lot of things. Let's think. I'm curious to know what you meant by that. And a specific piece of hardware. Okay. Like, here is something. Put your new Linux distribution ISOs based on loopback.cfg and Super Grub2 Disk. We'll find them and offer you to boot them. More information at this. You can use Gparted or another tool to extend this second partition to fill your USB device. You will have to mount or extract in a safer manner the device before running Gparted or a similar tool. You have any visual tutorial video or something that I can see to get an idea? Why? Okay, I mean, this is um, rather easy to do. Let's see if he has figured it out. So, okay, put ISO into that folder. Seems not to be persistent. Trying to ask ChatGPT to get an idea. I do have some ISO installation. It would be nice to be able to run on the fly for my source. Yeah. 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 Mm, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Put here this and that. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, the SGT boot ISOs or whatever it's the actual name. I mean, maybe we have the actual name down here. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. SGT devices. Uh, yeah. Okay. The the SGT boot ISOs. I should know which partition we are using here. Um, where the hell are we supposed to have that? So, super group. That's when. Oh my God, a novel user question. May I ask what the super group project is about and what it does? So it's a disk that allows you to boot into many operating systems from a menu. Um, Let me check real quick if I can find the make USB, if I can find this thing related to, so it's something like SGD. So without, so we should have a label here which is SGD ISOs or something like that. Grep ISO. Here it is, SGD ISOs. This is the one that we are using in here. Where is the yes, the SGD ISOs partition is meant to run new Linux live CDs that are compatible with loopback.cfg method of booting. It's not meant for a persistent distro. Yeah, so I dunk my name. So let me show you 1 second what I was telling to you regarding Super Grub2 Disk. So this is the web page, and here you can see you know, languages, everything plus, but manually this and that. So if you click on everything, you will be able, let me show you in this video if this ad ends up. So wait a minute. Oh my God, these tools. So let me see if I can okay, so this is the main UI for Super Grub2 Disk. Let's remove the my audio. And this is once you click on everything, this is what happens. So you've got a menu with all of the Linux entries with their kernels, just in case you need to boot one kernel or the other. Here it has detected Windows Vista, although it could be any of them. So you put this Super Grub2 Disk into a pen drive, into a USB disk, and it lets you auto detect the operating system and boot into this. Currently, it doesn't have the latest secure boot binaries, so maybe in some computers you need to turn off secure boot for this to boot. But yeah, this is what it does. So it tests a lot of stuff. So you can boot into Windows or whatever. Here there is, if you want to boot manually, you don't want everything to be detected, you can go ahead and find the group.cfg files, bootable ISOs, and so on. And yeah, so also regarding bootable ISOs, this is what is the the SG2D ISOs image that we were talking in the feedback here. This is what this partition eases you to put ISOs in here. Okay, so that's not what he's looking. So yeah, this seems not be too persistent. This and that. Not sure. Bentoy. Here we have some conversations. I'm supposed to be taking a look at these conversations. Oh my god. So look at that. This guy has talked to ChatGPT a lot. So what the hell is this? You mean this and that? Do you? Oh my god. ChatGPT is able to understand what he's telling here. With W, you don't make an ISO file. HE do this, you make group live entry, this and that. So it's plain the thing how the stuff works. Group will see this and that. In the important rules, this is FAT32. Says booting from USB from different images tools. Yeah, so the main difference between Bentoy and Super Grub2 Disk. Okay, let me see. So Bentoy lets you put different ISOs, and it tries to boot them directly, if you know what I mean. In the yeah. So in Bentoy, you can put many ISOs in here, and it's going to probably boot them. But Super Grub2 Disk, it's not meant initially to boot ISOs. So you can either boot existing OSes, which is the main purpose. Okay, so this is the main purpose of Super Grub2 Disk, or you can also have some to boot some ISOs. So ISOs is like here you've got like hundreds, and this is like 20 distros that you can boot from here. So this supports a lot of boot methods, and Super Grub2 Disk only supports a very specific boot methods and additional ones, but not too many. And that's the main difference. So the main focus is booted into 16 OSs, and Bentoy is focused on putting as many distros you can into a USB disk. But the thing is that Bentoy, either you install it in a UEFI way or a BIOS way, and this is not the case. So so it's either UEFI. So maybe I'm not saying something true here, because I don't know Bento so much. So this is either UEFI or BIOS, and this one here is both UEFI and BIOS at the same time, and also secure boot, but for Debian only. Secure boot Debian. But yeah, I mean, it supports quite stuff for secure boot. It actually, let's remove Debian from here. So this is basically the difference. So I like a lot that this supports both UEFI and BIOS at the same time. So you have a single USB and it boots in UEFI systems and it boots in BIOS systems, and then you can boot existing OSes. Assuming that the secure boot is not messing up with us, because there has been many updates of secure boot recently, and maybe with newer maybe with newer computer distribution, it wouldn't work out of the box and you need to turn off secure boot. So Bentoy, I think it's less capable than Super Grub2 Disk, but it's much easier to use and it supports much more ISOs than Super Grub2 Disk. But the thing is that the main purpose of Super Grub2 Disk is boot existing OSs. I'm not supposed to be adding many stuff into here, because what I want is that every distro supports my boot from loopback, so that this works seamlessly. Okay. So here we have more thing explanation, this and that and that and that. So let's go back into here. Okay, it seems to be able to see two distros by default, putting it to that folder. I guess I do not need something like this. Linux loop this 5 days ago. The set does not work, and I have some mousepad issue with anti-delete this and then these errors. So what you actually want is to create an X4 partition after the S22. What's the thing name here? My choice was to create after the partition. You could also replace it. In that X partition, try to install Debian NetInst, but do not complete the installation group step. Just tell it you do not want to install group there. Then if you reboot onto the USB, it should boot Super Grub2 Disk. Then if you reboot into then you actually want is to make sure to DD the S2 disk again. Image again. Meant for USB again. Prior. Make sure to back up your data first. create an X in that X partition trying to install just then reboot the user and it should put Super Grub2 Disk, and then you could boot Debian from there. If you might need to turn on search on the same STTD device on Super Grub2 Disk options, but I don't think so. It should detect Debian as if it was an installed Debian installation. Finally, you should be able to edit the S2D boot partition to add a custom. What's the fucking name that we have for this thing? Why the hell does... Okay. So here in the menus, we have the group 1, which is the default one, and main.cpg. Where the hell is this? Main.cpg. Don't we have a custom thing around here? If that exists. So, boot group SGD custom directory. I don't know where the hell is this. So to add a custom to add a custom that would try to boot onto Debian, to Debian itself. Then once you get the gist of it, does this exist? The gist of if you could try to do something similar with another distribution, but you need to test this previously in a VM so that it doesn't overwrite the Super Grub2 boot. That would try to finally you should be able to mount the SGD boot partition to that, not the SG2D ISOs partition. To add a custom boot that would try to boot onto Debian itself with some group scripting. Not sure what it would be needed there. Maybe file that works as a token identifier, like put boot, who's this guy? Jesus got for the win. This guy for the bin. ID and then search that in order to boot its associate boot group CFG group. Is it like this? In order to config file, was it like that? Config file onto is associate boot group. Yeah. What you actually want to do is this thing here. Make sure to back up the data first. Then, if you reboot the use, it should be and you can send. You might need to turn off the options, but I don't think so. It should detect Debian as if it was installed Debian installation. Finally, you should be able to mount it. Yeah, or maybe. Later on, maybe you would like to edit boot group main.cfg. Is it the one that we were reading before? Yeah, look at that. Main.cfg has this stuff in here. Later on, maybe you would like to edit so that the custom CFG is done on the top of the USB, and that automatically boots onto the first entry your Debian entry, your Debian entry. I mean that we have discussed above. Yeah, so basically I have explained what he needs to do. Hopefully that's good enough for an LLM in order so that he can talk to the LLM and the LLM explains to him what he's supposed to be doing. And we have this thing where he shares all of his findings in order to do what I have just explained. Let's start with a picture and go from there. So I guess that this is the disk one, so unallocated 100. So we've got the SGD, wait a minute. Yeah, we have HDD boot, HDD ISOs, and this thing here, SBBA. So he's using W as a BB also here, apparently. And yeah, so would there be any problem changing SGD ISOs from FAT32 to exFAT as a call in short form? I can only make 4 drives, so yeah, you can only make 4 drives. And the SGD ISOs is just for some ISOs anyway, so why not use it as a data storage drive as I usually have? So that's sort of the drive for Drive Max. Can one rename as skill find it change the name? Also, as my easier to stop the 2 words anyway. Let's see. And being FAT32, why not actually just use hdboot for that and have the folder at that place? In any problem with like that? I see. Yeah. No. Let's try this. So 4 drive total. Let's see. Some issues with Windows, no like. Oh, he's working from Windows. That might be not very easy to do. I mean, if it's working with Windows, ah, I don't know. So Linux X for this and that. Usually I have nearly this with the USB key. Again, things. Let's restart. Finally found it. Let's spot from is it? Look at that. SGTD boot 3. Copying this and that. You want. What the hell is this? Is this Ubuntu? I don't know what this is about. Look, this guy has a gray background thing, so yeah, the double V guy. Still working on things I hope to get something useful made. Hack the panel. Okay, if you put the buttons in the foot, you could name it Super Grub2 Disk or one less drive for other things. Anyway, this and that. Let's remove this message so that you don't have to. Yeah, this actually worked even if the boot is in another place. Not sure if it would start up Crunchbank. I think that Crunchbank is a Debian based distribution. Open box was a Debian. It's no longer. Using the name development of Crunchbank has ended, but in spirit of creation of Crunchbank is this a yeah, Debian 13. So this is based on Debian 13. So yeah. So hopefully he can reuse that Crunchbank plus. Any reason this and that? I don't want anyone to highlight. So question is like this. Okay. Is there any place? Is it possible? I mean, too many questions. Found out that I can find other ISOs if I boot up with other keys with the application, but not by itself. I think I have gotten this extra drive working and destroyed Windows 11 startup yesterday, so I cannot really enter virus the Windows at the moment. Not sure. I need Debian boot to see new list ranges, and yet the Debian boot does not. Yeah. I mean, he's asking too many stuff at the same time. Let's start to reply this thing. Would there be any problem changing as no. As long as Super Grub this on group drivers support and a file system, it should detect it. Assuming that file system should detect it. Yeah, that's it. I think exFAT is supported yet. Assuming I have created this image with an MS-DOS partition, yes, you have a maximum of 4 partitions. However, you can create the 4th one as an extended partition and then create logical partitions from inside of it. Okay. Can one rename as you still have maybe there's a link As soon as I stop the work, anyway, let's see. Yeah, I mean, why would you do that? As you do ISOs. Wait a minute. Yeah, is it like that? Wait a minute. Should the ISOs? Both ISOs? Um, Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Uh, I don't know. Wait a second. So auto ISO. Um, yeah. So what it's actually search for are partition, are file systems that have path on them, that have version or what ISO's path on them, and the SUD ISO's partition is provided in the image so that is quite straightforward to extend it from gparted and then put the different ISOs in there. I think that's the case, that when you try to build this stuff, it works as expected. You know what I mean? So yeah. I would like to take a look at this, what it's actually search for RFL systems. Yeah, now I'm very curious to know what's inside. But I don't remember how the hell do I start the petitions. How do I? So we have. So maybe I can try to put an image of this, and hopefully that will be good enough. Where are the releases? I had something else which was lanzamientos. So releases. I should have something that it's not beta, isn't it? In here. Yeah. In any case, if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to run one of these disks and see what's going on in here. So maybe in here, boot from C, and the HDA is Super Grub2 Disk. Let's say that this is classic, and let's say that this a USB multi-arcs USB. Oh, I'm supposed to be unzipping it. Okay, let's copy this thing right now, just real quick. Let's create a folder for tmp s2d, and then let's put this thing here. Hopefully that's good enough for this to work. And now we can say something like boot from hard disk, and your hard disk is this thing here. Okay, now I can explore this thing. Do we have some best fit? No. Sum to fit. Okay, sum to fit. This is going to be nice. So now I can explore the ls. I can explore the disk where so this is the where the Super Grub2 Disk stuff is, and this is where to put ISOs. So this is what this is all about. readme.txt. So yeah, so you've got to put here the yeah. So this is it. So let's hold this thing. So this is yeah, look at that. So put the difference. I mean auto ISO thing. Where do we have? So we have all of this stuff, but ISOs. We have a lot of stuff. Or this thing, path on them. The edges is implemented, so that's quite to understand it from the button, put the different. So you also have this directory created. This directory created in the first place, so that you do not have to create it Okay, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, 2 words. So yeah, rename it as you wish. Rename it as you wish. Okay, let go. Being found and being found, why not just the we do not want the final user to tweak the Super Grub2 Disk partition. If you extend it thanks to gparted, if you extend sg to boot thanks to gparted, you might end up having a non-bootable disk in BIOS only boot systems. Also, having a separate partition for the ISO images makes it easier to replace the default FAT32 partition with an X4 partition. An X4 partition, it's much better than a than a FAT32 partition. It's easier to recover when there is bat file and mount, the partition might be much bigger. But you know, in the real world, you are going to be able to write onto a FAT32 partition from both GNU Linux and Windows without too much hassle. If NTF writing If additive writing becomes better in 10 years time, we might switch to NTF as being the default file system for the application. Okay, so here it is. What else do we have here? Let's try this. So 4 drives total. Let's see. Some issues with Windows not like same drives having the same name. Okay, and some issues with Windows not like the same drives having the same name. Okay, so some issues with Windows not like the same. Yeah, well, I mean, earlier there with the first step. So why the hell does he shares a screenshot? We don't want to know what the hell you're doing here. Wait a minute. 2,824 items from this to this. So see, he has like 2,000 ISOs. I don't know. Or is it maybe the distribution that he has installed in here? So Linux S4 FAT32 boot exFAT standard storage and TFS can be used as well. But if you want Android to be able to read it, oh my god. Why would anyone exFAT is the way to go? Although there's a way exFAT is the way yeah. Okay, so let's quote replay. Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to delete the FAT32 boot ISOs partition and recreate as annex FAT partition if that suits your needs. Okay, usually I have X4 for a persistent Linux install, standard storage and swap drive if new Linux needs it. Yes, you would need also a swap drive in here. But here we add to your FAT32 drive. So if we could place it as in the footprint, maybe we'll just have the NTF X FAT drive. I think there might be some issues with that. But we should be able to use a FAT32 boot for the ISOs as well, like you have a folder ready. So at least some ways would, yeah, nearly there with the USB key. So look at that. We have a screenshot. What the hell is this? These are YouTube videos, Amazon instances. Oh my god. So it didn't. So usually you see the tabs, and this seems like you know, like icons from the different pages. So that's interesting. So again, remaining 5 items, and it's copying 2,000 items 3,000 items. Thanks for the tool, this and that. Expensive grab bar, this is what we want. Your app on a golden key and started out with that to get into the system on another USB, a persistent USB installation of Crunchbank. Let's try out. Okay, so he has managed to boot from Super Grub2 Disk, and then he has been able to boot the Crunchbank. So he wants everything in the same place. I have already explained the other way how to do it. Finally found it on this system. Let's post images. So HTTP boot 3, the volume, Neolix. Neolix is the distribution. Oh, what the hell is this? So the AI says that this is a developer from the Android. So yeah, I'm not sure about this. I would like to know what the hell is this new links thing. So, are you sure you want to apply dependent operation, this and that? So let's take a look. What the hell is he doing in here? So he has this new Linux thing that we don't know what it is. And then he has a lot of space with a lot of things. Linux swap, SGTT boot, because here he has the boot ISOs. That he has to try the ISOs, but because not every ISO works with this. And then allocated the space. Okay. And he copies stuff and stuff again and again. Yeah. Super new to boot. .txt. Look at that. With 0 bytes. What the hell he's supposed to be writing in this file? I would like to know. He's still working on things. I have to get something useful made, have the planet. If you put the ISO in the 32, you could name it Super Grub2 Disk or SG2 Disk, and then one less drive for other things. I have already explained why. Wouldn't think it'd be easy to cut down one drive. It's not one drive, it's one partition. So partitions in Windows are named as drives, but they are partitions. So a drive is a disk. In the inside of the disk there are partitions. Somehow Windows names them as drives. I have a whole drive anyway, this and that. But anyway, I will try to come up with my thoughts. Hopefully you get around to respond it sometime. Yeah, I have done right now. This actually worked even if the boot is another place. Not sure if it went stuck run back directly if with the computer they have the kind of boot or not. Overall, one could always flip it over to the other drive. Okay, but very nice. So far so good. Getting closer to something. Any reason for the 2 megabytes not allocated in the beginning? 2 megabytes not allocated in the beginning. So well, I guess it's related to the partition needing to have a minimal size so that the part that could so that was able to resize it. And also it Regarding S222 ISOs, I guess if you refer to the whole S222 disk, it might be related to the need of having some free space in the very start of the disk so that BIOS base group installation can have its own space, and that's between the end of MBR and the start of the first partition. Yeah, so he's asking a lot of questions. So if I get to again X5 drive, like at the moment I can change. I wonder if that's still possible. Would be nice if that was something that works as well. To freedom, but I'm sure one could fix in the code. Without is not possible. FAT32 do not support lowercase at least, which runs my system. That's why you could use exFAT forces you to compress it compared to NFS, so it's got a big puzzle. Okay, getting closer. So takes a lot of time and hours and hours. Yes, the well is broke. Although my brain, what does it mean is broke? I mean it should be archived. Menu title. What do you mean by is broke? You won't be able to build every single distro via this method. The distro needs to support it. By having a loopback.zip in its ISO. Please notice that you won't be able to boot everything. Okay. Yeah, and the distro needs to be in. I mean, where the hell is that? How do you create loopback? ISO path. Yeah, this is the boot path. Wait a minute. Let's try by having a look back. Might have it. This means that init RD is especially built in such a way that can find its own ISO. Okay, yeah, let's go. Is there any place on the boot partition that's looking for ISO files? I mean, yes, the boot partition. Yeah, within the different scripts you will find autoiso.cfg. That's the one. that's the one. I'm going to link to him the thing. So latest commit from 2 years ago. Let's explore the files. Let's go to menus, SGD, and ISO. You will find ISO.cfg. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So now he can. Is it possible? I mean, again, another question. FAT32 also storing. Have tried to make the ISO drive into exFAT, but mean at the very least breaks with that. Crunchback plus Platinum version still works. So for the most part, it seems exFAT does work, but clearly not with everything. So one, if could just put drive at the whole disk or for this hack to clean would be nice. Do not have much experience with logical drive and how they would work. Maybe one could just logical follow the links stuff and swap. Yeah, but there's a way to remove one drive that would at least be helpful with yeah, last version. Oh my god, how many questions? We cannot end to answer. So again, where the hell is this? Already, I have already explained it onto this here. So basically, SG to boot, SG to boot ISOs in the primary partition, extended partition, logical partition 2, and this is like n. Linux stuff and swap partitions can go onto the logical partitions. So let's do something like this. So this is primary partition 2, primary partition 2. I wonder, don't I have do I have a GPT version of this? I don't think so. Let's see how this goes up. Boot ISOs to become, then I have this on the main drive without any FAT32. There's kind of with this. I mean, he wants something that it has everything, but he doesn't know. And hopefully, I have reply here, which is here. Where is it? Let me search for init RD. let me edit this thing so that it's in a. Please note that with it. Please note. Please notice that you won't be able to boot every single distro via this method. This is very important. He wants to have this SG2 disk to have it all. He wants the disk to have everything, but sometimes you cannot do that. But he needs to understand that this is not going to boot every distro. Then have the ISOs folder in the main drive without needing another FAT32 drive. Yeah, you can remove the FAT32 drive. Other ways I rename some of the things that it's still. So let me edit this thing real quick. So basically, either or. Or Linux stuff and swap partition can go into the logical partitions. Update comment. Yeah, look at that. Okay, I have already answered this, which is because it's easier. Other ways I rename some of the things and still have it working. Maybe in the code some more USB keys with it that will help to stand to name them. The ways I rename some of the things. Other ways. You can edit the files in SGD file. You can edit SGD. Wait a second, please. So you can edit SCD files in the but I recommend you to test the changes in a VM first, because otherwise you might not be able to boot again in to SG2G. SCD CVG files. The menus of CVG files. Menu? Is it menus? The menus. I don't know. The menus. I don't know. There's the menu. Just as auto. Do not mess up with this book itself. And do not mess up with the S2 boot partition. Do not install distro bootloaders in it. So yeah. Found out that I can find other ISOs if I boot up with other keys with the application, but not by itself. So I can actually find it, but not if it is meant. Like, could we make the same USB? You have an option in options. I don't remember what the hell is this. There's a video in here. Extra group 2 functionality. Extra group 2 functionality menu that allows you to search in the same device where SG boot partition is, but as I say, it's not recommended that you put files there. Just learn to create logical partitions. Yeah. Extra group 2 functionality menu. Something like that. And I think I've gotten this. I guess the old constructions thereby is able. Yeah, well, latest SG2 with ISOs is not really, has not the latest secure boot binaries. And that's why you won't be able to boot onto it in quite new systems, because unless you disable secure boot itself, which it's not advised, which, well, you shouldn't be doing for security reasons in the first place. So yeah, someday I might need to update Super Grub2 Disk, but Rescatax goes first. So here it is. Reply to these questions while I was streaming streaming. Hopefully that clarifies all of the doubts that you have. Wait, can I have like this? Anyways, so this is all for today. We have replied to this Supergroup2 Disk thing. So we had these two discussions. We also have some questions from YouTube channel, but I think they are put in here. So we end here. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.